angle of incidence, angle of refraction. You can say emergence, angle of emergence, angle of prism, and angle of deviation. I'm getting four angles here. Angle of incidence, I, angle of prism, angle A, angle of deviation, delta, and angle of emergence. E. You got four angles here, right? And we got to find the relationship between these four terms now. How and the proving of this is good for board exams. And generally does not come over, but we should remain prepared for any unusual questions in the board paper. So we might get sometime the questions regarding the proof of this. We might be asked the proof of these kinds of questions sometime. So making a diagram once again, and we will take up from there, from those diagrams. Okay, so I have got a double refracting surface prism. Here like this, and there is angle of, there's the incident ray, there is the first refracting light ray, and then there is second refracting light. This is transfer. That's better. Okay. And normal at first surface, normal at. You should learn these diagrams. They might be asked. They might ask you these diagrams. Okay. All right. Then then this is I1. This is
R1.
R1. This is R2.
R2. I2.
E is the I2 बोल लीजिए इसको या E बोल लीजिए, doesn't matter. Is the angle of emergence, so I2 is the incident emergence refraction at the second surface. ये हमारी वे है और ये हमने बैकवर्ड प्रोड्यूस करी, ये कितनी है डेल्टा है. This is delta 1. This is delta 2. Okay. A, B, C. I'm taking their labeling only ताकि आपको बाद में आराम रहे learn करने में and all. And this point is C, this point is N. Reduce it further. तो ये L पे जा रही है, ये R point here, and take the labeling as such. N point. Fine. So public relation. देखिए बच्चों, angle LMQ is the exterior angle of triangle MPQ. So Angle LMQ equals to angle MPQ plus angle MQP. So delta equals to delta 1 plus delta 2. So, first equation assume curvature. Angle MPN is delta 1 and angle MPN is I1. What is angle MPN? बताइए बच्चों. Very carefully here. ये एंगल I1 है, ये पूरा एंगल है. ये पूरा एंगल I1 के बराबर होगा. तो
Yes, sir.
बच्चों देखिए एंगल MPQ, write down like this. I tell you what. ऐसे लिखिए बच्चों. At the first surface, AB, I1 is equals to delta 1 plus R1. Right? आगे लिख लो बच्चों. Vertically opposite angle. Right? Or delta 1 equals to I1 minus R1. Delta 1 equals to I1 minus R1. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Is that clear? Take a first equation with you, make the first relation with you. Then like similarly, at the second surface AC, head down. So what you've got here, you got here like if I take it as I2, so I2 is equals to, बोलो बच्चों, a delta 2 plus R2.
Delta 2 plus R2.
R2.
Delta 2 equals to I2 minus
Minus R2.
R2. Delta 2 equals to I2 minus R2. Okay. So I know that delta is equals to delta 1 plus delta 2. Look here, replacing the values in the first equation. In equation number 1, what I got with me, I got delta equals to, now I got to replace the value of delta 1 and delta 2 here. Delta 1 is I1 minus R1 plus I2 minus
R2.
R2. I2 minus R2. I'm taking the next slide now. So this is noted by all of you.
Yes,
Yes.
All have noted down.
sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So starting from here, the next is delta equals to, say delta equals to I1 minus R1 plus
Plus I2 minus
I2 minus R2.
minus R2.
I2 minus R2.
slight regrouping, I1 plus I2 minus R1
R1 plus R2.
plus R2. Okay. Make it a equation somewhere. So I got delta equals to I1 plus I2 minus R1 plus R2, which is a relation between the angle of incidence, angle of emergence, and the refraction and incidence in all these surfaces here. So now take up the quadrilateral A, P, and Q. You see in your book for the diagram, because I've turned the page. So in quadrilateral A, P, and Q, so tell me, what is angle APN equals to? 90. What is
90
angle AQN equals to?
90.
90. Because they are normals, right? Because PN is a normal and QP is a and QN is normal. So what left behind? Angle APN plus angle AQN is 90 each. So in a quadrilateral, angle A plus angle P and Q is also equals to 180.
180.
And angle A plus angle P and Q is equals to 180. Or if I put this angle P and Q as 180 minus A. So angle P and Q becomes 180 minus A as the angle, right? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
Put in your book,
Yes,
which
sir.
you put in your book, if I take a lower triangle, triangle P and Q, the three angles here, angle P and Q plus R1 plus R2. So what does this P and Q gives us? 180 minus A plus R1 plus R2. All right. All right. R1 plus
Yes, sir.
R2. Do we have any other relation
Yes,
somewhere?
sir.
Do we have some relation somewhere on all? What can I do is that? What is R1 plus R2? What can I do with this somewhere? How can I replace angle A and all in this equation? So I have 180 minus A plus R1 plus R2. So what is angle P and Q? 180 minus R1 plus R2. Or I got ultimately get the value. What is angle? This is in triangle, right? Right down here. In triangle P and Q. We got three angles and their sum is of course equals to 180. So when I solve it, I got R1 plus R2 equal to A because 180 will be cancelled out. I got A equals to R1 plus R2. What can I do then? What can I do? I can replace this R1 plus R2 now with this angle A here. So I got replacing the value so delta equals to
I1 plus I2 minus A.
I1 plus I2 minus A. Okay, is that fine? Or
Yes, sir.
I1
Yes, sir.
plus I2 equals to delta plus A. I got the relation. What is I1 here? What does I1 tell
Angle of
me?
incidence.
Angle of incidence, the first surface. At the first surface. At the first surface. What is I2? Kya Ashwin Monga is
Angle of
there?
emergence.
Angle of emergence.
Angle of emergence.
Emergence at second refraction at second
At the second surface.
Yes, sir.
The second
delta.
surface.
What is delta? Angle of deviation. What?
Deviation.
Deviation.
Yeah, that is what.
Angle of prism.
That's what we get.
Angle of prism.
That's what we get out of this derivation. So I got I1 plus I2. Please learn this all. This is a very important derivation for you. I got I1 plus I2 equals to A plus delta. I will take one more point I will add later on. जब हम बात करेंगे minimum deviation की तो हम उसमें slightly change करेंगे. But for a while, you understand that I1 plus I2 is equals to delta plus A. Okay. ठीक है?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Fine, fine.
Yes, sir.
Good enough. So I am taking now, this is clear and already done all. So I'm taking now the factors affecting the refraction through the prism. The factors affecting the refraction through the prism. The first point is angle of, and it's a very important point. They've been asked in the exam repeatedly. बच्चों फिजिक्स पढ़ना बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है अगर आप उसको इंटरेस्ट से पढ़ाई करें उसमें इंटरेस्ट लीजिए. These topics go till 12th class. 12th has got same topics again in this book. It's a very interesting topic. And if you lose interest in padhai likhai, miss classes, Amna is not studying at all. She hardly come to the class. It does not invoke your interest. You run here, you run there. मैं आज उससे पढ़ दूंगा, मैं आज इससे पढ़ दूंगा. It does not matter. उससे कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. It's all about आप कितनी पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं. आपने कितना इनपुट दिया है पढ़ाई करने के लिए. That is more important. Yeah. So this graph is called as I delta curve. This graph is called as I delta curve. Okay. So I delta curve is basically, it is basically an indicator, or it represents the relationship between the angle of incidence and angle of delta. That is what we call as the I delta curve. All right. All right. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
It is
Yes,
found
sir.
that
Yes,
angle
sir.
of deviation.
Yes, sir.
Now, one thing is very important here. तो साइड में अपनी बुक में अंडरलाइन करेंगे सब इसको. At the position of delta minimum, at the position of delta minimum, जब delta minimum की position होती है, तो angle of incidence is equal to the angle of emergence. Angle of incidence is equal to angle of emergence. That means I1 equals to I2. I1 is equals to I2. The relation was with me, I1 plus I2 equal to A plus delta. They are equal to each other, right? So A plus delta equals to 2I, or I equals to A plus delta upon 2. Such a good relation it is. Class 12, we got numericals on this. We don't use it here anywhere. And so delta minimum is also equal to 2I minus A. Understand? Here are the various relationships between the value of angle of prism, the value of angle of incidences, and the value of angle of delta. Is that fine with you? All understand that?
Yes,
Right.
sir.
Yes, sir.
And one more
Yes, sir.
thing, one more thing I will take up. One more thing I will take up. And the line, they ask in the exam. So first thing, that I is equals to E. So I'm taking up these 3 points here. At the delta minimum, what all happens? The first thing, I is equals to E. Okay. I, or you can have 2E here also. I is equals to E. The second point, light travels parallel to the base of the prism. In that triangle. Now, in the triangle, what triangle? If it is an isosceles triangle or it is an equilateral triangle. If it is an equilateral triangle और उसकी जो refracting surfaces हैं वो equal हैं और equal refracting surface. Understand? This is a very, very important curve. Please try to learn this curve as much as you can. Try to make it that way. And try to read the fine points of this curve as well. Understood? For a given prism and a given color of light, underline करिए इसको. For a given prism and a given color of light, delta minim is unique. Since you know, minimum value of delta is unique for a given prism. We can't have two point of minima for this curve. Can we have 2 point of minima for this curve? We can't have.
No, sir.
Okay. So for a given pair of angle of incidence, for a given prism and given color of light, that is for a given wavelength, for a given angle of incidence, we got a unique delta minimum for that purpose, right? Understand? So only for one value of angle of incidence, we get the minimum value of delta. The refracted angle range in the prism is parallel to its base also. That is what we call as the delta minimum and all. Clear? Just all go through it. I'm just coming back in a minute. All go through it. All go through in the book about this. Yes. So this curve represents. So we can find out many values out of this. We'll take it later on today, in the third lecture on this topic. So basically, there are 3 more factors to study about this: the material of the prism, angle of prism A, the color or wavelength of light used. First one is angle of.
Sir.
Yeah.
सर इसमें लिखा हुआ है कि जब एंगल ऑफ इंसिडेंस इज इक्वल्स टू द एंगल ऑफ इमर्जेंस तो डेल्टा मिनिमम होता है. तो सर जब हम रिफ्रैक्शन ऑफ लाइट थ्रू अ प्रिज्म बनाते हैं तो उसमें भी एंगल आई इज इक्वल्स टू एंगल ही होता है. तो सर इसमें भी डेल्टा मिनिमम होता है.
हाँ, तो ये हम एक स्पेशल कंडीशन को ही फॉर्म कर रहे हैं हमेशा. ये हमने एक स्पेसिफिक केस बनाया है. डोंट थिंक कि हमेशा ऐसा होता है. हमने जो आपको जो बुक में डायग्राम दे रखा है यहाँ पर, फर्स्ट डायग्राम, ये आपको लाइट इंसिडेंट रिफ्रैक्टेड लाइट को बेस के पैरेलल बनाया है. ये एक सिंगल स्पेसिफिक केस है. ऐसा हमेशा नहीं होगा कि लाइट PQ. I will show you that light PQ travels here. It is not always possible that light PQ travels parallel to the base. ये हमेशा इसके पैरेलल ट्रेवल नहीं करती है. हम तो यहाँ पर वो कंडीशन बना रहे हैं कि ये एंगल I और एंगल E इक्वल हैं, तब ऐसा हुआ है यहाँ पर ऐसा. Understand? It is not always like this. Okay. Anybody else want to ask me anything else from this topic till here? बताइए. I'll take tomorrow. That is, this meeting is about to be over in less than 1 minute now. I have sent you the assignment of this chapter. You all have got it.
Yes, sir.
I will teach tomorrow also this chapter. I will take up day after. I will start taking out the maths work because I don't want to stop it in between. Okay, so I'll take up till this B exercise all. Then I'll start the chapter of maths later on. Fine. So please tell me any question you want. Keep it in your mind. Underline your doubts. We'll clear them tomorrow again. Start doing assignments of this. Any one fine day, I will ask you to do the 30-40 questions for an assignment. Keep them prepared. Keep the book on your, keep on reading, underline, mark the points, draw a diagram in the copy, go through the point again and again. All right?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
So, tomorrow again. I expect आपको focus आ रहा होगा. Just go through these things